The purpose of this panel is to discuss the driving mechanisms, service innovations, challenges, and opportunity for sustainable competitiveness of enterprise. We invite 3 institute representatives to discuss the following issue. First, share their corporate sustainability report. Second, to address the challenging opportunity to promote their sustainable competitiveness of enterprise. And third is service innovations and value co-creations under their sustainable corporate operations. The panel will be conducted like the following manner. The first, sharing. We will ask each representative panelist to deliver 15 minutes talk regarding their case. And second, panel discussions. The panelists will discuss related issues with each other. And third, open up for question and answer from all the participants. First, let me have this opportunity to introduce each distinguished panelist. Our first panelist is Mr. Charlie Liu. He is the Corporate Governance Officer of Giant Manufacturing Corporate. He is responsible for corporate governance affairs. He leads ESG team in Giant and connects each innovations to Giants, as well as the Bicycling Alliance for Sustainability. Our second panelist is Dr. Grace Liu. He is current Acer Corporate Sustainability Officer and leads the corporate sustainability team to assist Acer in promoting and fulfilling corporate social responsibility globally. And this involves communicating and collaborating with various stakeholders and implementing supply chain environmental protection initiative, also promoting corporate environmental health, safety policy to enhance employee environmental awareness. Our third panelist is Dr. Ching-Yao Tsai. He currently is the Superintendent of Taipei City Hospital, Zhongxing branch. He is a renowned eye doctor with abundant excellence practice experience. Not only as a physician, he is also a scientist, developing the expertise and leadership in peer recognition to carry out multidisciplinary and person-oriented community service and project, including integrated community-based long-term care program, compassionately community, and build up in Taipei City. Now, I would like to ask each of the panelists to deliver 15 minutes talk to share to our participants. First, 第一，我们请刘经理跟我们。
First, let's welcome Director Charlie Liu.
Let's welcome the second speaker, Grace Liu, to share Acer's sustainable case. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chen. Good everyone. And the relationship of Acer and sustainability. First, a brief intro about Acer. Acer is a global ICT company. We not only provide hardware, we also provide software and services. Globally, Acer has more than 7,800 employees, and we have 95,000 retail locations. in 160 plus countries. Our mission is to break barriers between people and technology. And missions are important, which is to engage all employees. Also, it is important to shorten the distance between products and customers to allow customers to use our products easily. And through ESG, we hope to create more tangible and intangible social values. Sustainability and ESG is a widely discussed topic. Also, it includes environmental, social, and governance. For Acer, we have ESG policy. The policy allows us to focus on each aspect of ESG. We hope to integrate sustainable governance to allow for more transparent disclosure and deepen ESG governance and stakeholder engagement. As for environment, we focus on innovation, especially low carbon and circular economy. For social, we focus on bringing positive social impacts to the society. Climate is an important topic, and it is a top priority for government, schools, and businesses. Everyone needs to think about the climate topic. In 2008, Acer has started the carbon inventory, and in 2021, Acer pledges to reach RE100 by 2035, and by 2050, we pledge to reach net zero. 2050 might sound far away. However, it is important to start now to formulate relevant policies. So this is our net zero strategies. This include operations, product and services, and value chain. These three areas are important in addressing our net zero strategies. And I would like to share about operations. Operations includes three parts. First, to minimize energy consumption. Second, to use more renewable energy. And third, to use technology to engage in CCUS. For products and services, this is related to our consumers. We need to provide low carbon products. Also, we try to make use of renewable materials. And we will provide smart, circular, and renewable applications. As for value chain, we will work together with our supply chains to reduce carbon emissions, to set carbon reduction targets. Also, we have a Earth mission, which is shortened into Earth-Young. Through product design, production, energy, packaging design, recycling, and logistics, we will work together with our supply chain to make Earth a better place. By 2050, we will reach net zero. We have other interim targets. These targets are in line with our carbon reduction goals. It is important to set short to long-term goals so that we can review each year. Currently, we already reached RE40 this year. Also, we go along with international standards and regulations. In 2008, we have started the CDP questionnaire. We also joined other climate initiatives. Last year, we published the first TCFD report. Our carbon reduction target was also verified by SBT. In addition to the 5-year target, which is to be reached by 2025, there are also other goals to be reached. So our sustainability goals are divided into 3 parts. First, circular economy to increase the use of renewable energy to increase energy efficiency. And for social impact, we would like to bring more positive impacts. And lastly, circular economy is important. Having products and supply chains joining the sustainability efforts is not enough. It is more important to have circular economy. We need to increase resource efficiency and to extend product life cycle. So we have a model of circular economy. The inner cycle represents that there is higher energy efficiency, first by changing our business model. In Europe, we have a Acer company. Consumers don't need to buy laptops. They only need to have the services. This is called DaaS, Device as a Service. And second, through refurbishment, we will have easy to manage design to extend product lifecycle. However, there are some parts that cannot be repaired. So this is the recycling, and we need to recycle efficiently. Our recycling policies are in line with international standards, and in some areas, for instance, in Taiwan, there is voluntary recycling. Acer's repair stations in Taiwan can recycle batteries. We also work with some of our supply chains to recycle laptops or desktops. We are trying to maximize resource efficiency.
Now let's talk about device as a service. I think it's the most important part in this forum. We don't buy the actual laptop, but just to buy the services. The good point is that the buyers doesn't not own the products, but they own the service. It's better for their budget. For example, for startups, they don't have to invest too many costs in physical laptops or any other tools. Another good side is that for resources, Acer does are owned those products, and Acer does can give the products from A customers to B customers in order to increase the efficiency of the products. Acer DaaS was a European company. Another one is HSN company. HSN is responsible for services and also refurbishment. This company also responsible for after service. However, Acer think that to extend the product's life is important. Therefore, we expand our services. It's not only about repairment for ICT products, but we also repair house appliances. Apart from Acer's products, we also provide repairment to other brands' products. So we break the barriers. Another service is that we also provide refurbishment because many customers right now, they are willing to buy second-hand products, and it's the same as our value right now. The point is to increase the usage of resources. apart from services, another important thing is innovation. To be sustainable, it's important to be innovative. Companies need to solve every challenges in order to achieve a higher goal. So to be innovative, companies need to think about the customers. And Acer is doing our innovative ideas with the UN's SDG goals. The UN has already announced 17 SDGs goals. And Acer is in line with the SDGs in order to achieve a sustainable future. And as for initiative, we want to focus on smart cities and with eco-friendly products. It's about SDGs 3 and also 11, the smart city, and 13, climate action. Another point is that our core value is innovation. Last year's COP28, Acer also held a product launch in Dubai. And the product line's name is Conscious Technology. Conscious technologies have 4 pillars: through learning, working, moving, and living. We can beat climate change and to create a new lifestyle, and Acer can create a new future. And that's our theme for the conscious technology. This is the photograph of the product launch. On the right-hand corner, that's our core products, laptops, and also smartphones. In 2021, we started Vero line. Vero is Italian, which means real. The Vero line uses a lot of PCR. PCR represents a post-consumer recycled plastic. So in 2021, the first laptop uses 30% of PCR of our materials. And our customers will really like it. So we expand the Vero production line into desktop, projectors, and also screens. And it's the 3rd generation of Vero. The 3rd generation of Vero has 60% of PCR. So through PCR, we can use resources more efficiently. So for some companies, they can sell their PCR to Acer, and we can reuse PCR to make products. And that's circular economy. And that's the most important role we play in circular economy. Another important thing is that we want to create smart cities. And we also want to create a sustainable future. On the right-hand side, we have house appliance. We have the energy storage devices. So we can provide stable and reliable power to households. So if a household have a panel, they can restore the power in our devices and to be resilient in the future. On the left-hand side corner, we can see the e-scooters, and we can create more e-vehicles. Apart from Giant, you can also consider to buy Acer's scooters. Another thing is in the middle. This is a bike desk. You can bike while working, and you can charge your smartphones or your laptops while biking and working. So it's our carbon reduction and to make everything into electrified. In the future, I think Acer can be more sustainable and more innovative. That's because Acer believes sustainability is the future. Through circular economy, everything can be sustainable and we can expand the life cycle of products, and that's the positive role we can play in this society. This is my talk. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for Ms. Liu's presentation, Tsai.
Thank you for your introduction. Can anyone hear my voice? Thank you. First, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting me to join today's conference. Today's conference is really meaningful. I would also like to thank the moderator and the previous speakers. And the talks were pretty innovating. I worked at the Taipei City Hospital Zhongxing branch. And today I would like to share my experiences of ESG and sustainability. So in the next several minutes, I would like to talk about some results. I don't have many slides, so I will just briefly talk about some key points. First, our hospital was founded in 1905, around 120 years ago. It was the Red Cross hospital in the past. At that time, the hospital served the people in Taipei. History is important when discussing sustainability, so that's why I start from the history. We have great history. And next, I would like to talk about some results we have been doing. Hospitals are suitable for doing sustainability because hospitals not only provide services, but there are other operations areas. So it is important to discuss ESG within hospitals. And it is important to discuss ESG when thinking about hospital management. So this is our ESG management strategy. The UN had a SDGs. There are 17 SDGs. Public hospitals, public policies, and caring for vulnerabilities are important. For environment, we focus on strengthening management. For S, social, we focus on fulfilling our public health responsibilities. So the first part, strengthening management. And the second part, fulfilling responsibilities, is the second part. And the third part, governance, is about optimizing healthcare. So this is how I link ESG with our hospital management. Our hospital has existed for more than 100 years. For environment, as I mentioned earlier, there is strengthening management, and I would like to talk more about it. It's about carbon reduction, energy conservation. We have 3 action plans. These action plans have achieved good results. From 2015, we have started this effort up until now. So our first action plan is energy conservation, environmental friendly. ESG is not only about these 2 areas. However, these 2 areas are really important. So first, we start with changing LED lights. That is energy conservation. Then we have cycling for water and boils. Also, make use of resources, do not waste resources are important. We will recycle or make good disposal of waste food. And for medical supplies, medicine, pills, there needs to be ways of wisely recycling, disposing them. We also address being environmental friendly. In the last 5 to 6 years, we have a expanded area of outdoor green gardens on our rooftop. Each year, we can produce a lot of vegetables on our rooftop. And these fruits and vegetables can further provide to those in need. So that is about environmental protection. We focus on reduce carbon emissions, do not waste food, and being environmental friendly. And the second pillar is about fulfilling social responsibilities. We need to strengthen our public health efforts. Our hospital is a public hospital. And there are 3 main areas. First, long-term care. It is important to combine in-hospital and out-hospital services so we can help more people in need. I believe this is the start of sustainability, and we can bring impacts to communities. We also care for the babies and the children. So all in all, in fulfilling public health responsibilities, we provide long-term care, community holistic care service, and happy parenting services. And as an analogy to the baseball stadium, in hospital, we provide holistic care for the elderly. That is for in-field service. For outfield, we focus on value co-creation, which is to have community holistic care. So we combine both in-field and out-field services to create more values. And that is an analogy to the baseball stadium. Lastly, governance. We optimize healthcare. The most important part of governance is quality, and we strive to improve our healthcare quality. So to improve quality, our hospital focuses on digital transformation. We also have new medical equipments. I am an eye doctor, so here are some examples. We provide AI services to those who are vulnerable, and we make use of AI. Also, we focus on green procurement in the future. And our hospital has some great achievements. For ESG, we believe the most important thing is to cherish what we have and to help those in need. This is how our hospital practice ESG. And this is how we determine our value as a public hospital. And I would like to thank the Sustainability Institution for recognizing our achievements. So we have won some medals, gold, silver, and bronze in different areas for the elderly care in and for resilient healthcare system. The Department of Nutrition in our hospital also provides food to the elderly. So in summary, as a public hospital, we know clearly where our values are at. We are striving to combine ESG with our hospital management. ESG is not only about being environmental friendly, it is also about having a responsible operations. That will be the end of my talk. Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Tsai. Thank you for your sharing.
I would like to ask the three speakers. This is the often happened questions. When a company facing the future challenges, of course, every company has its own policies of ESG, and for every company, ESG is the ultimate goal. But if we want to achieve ESG, for the first time or at the beginning, every company will face challenges, and those companies need to change themselves and also to invest in order to change. Because Taiwan, there are many SME in Taiwan. In the past, SMEs were focusing on lower the budget. So if they want to achieve ESG, they need to invest more. So from your experiences, can you share with us while doing ESG or achieving ESG, how can we persuade your suppliers, upstream or downstream, or your colleagues, your leaders, superintendents, to persuade them that it's worth it to achieve ESGs? Apart from lowering the budget, it's more important to achieve ESGs. And it's an important mindset. Can you share with us any experiences? Thank you. That's my question. Let's welcome Charlie Liu to answer our question. Thank you for asking this question. Of course, while doing ESGs, the most difficult part is suppliers. To change into ESGs with our suppliers is most important. After the inventory, most carbon emissions are in suppliers. So if we want to do it correctly, we need to start from the suppliers. We need to step in their shoes in order to know their problems, and we need to know each other. Fortunately, in cycling industry is not a high impacted industry. We can learn with each other, and we can lead our suppliers, started from changing the high to provide high values within the industry, which includes the rooftop PV panels. It's a good investment. Giant discussed with the suppliers about the solar panel on the rooftop, and we gathered everyone together to share the cost of experts. Experts can lead us through the way into sustainability. So everyone can be brought together, and I think that's a very good experience. Thank you. How about the other two speakers? Would you like to share with us? Let's welcome Grace Liu.
So I believe Professor Chen has two questions. First, how companies within companies, departments are willing to engage in conversation with others, and how outside parties are willing to engage in ESG. Within companies, the most important thing in ESG governance is about the following. It is about to establish clear standards and processes. By having these standardized processes, I believe companies can move toward sustainability. And it is important to have approvals from higher top leaders. And indeed, sustainability requires investments. In 2008, we started the Sustainability Office. At that time, we spent a lot of effort in communicating with other departments regarding practicing ESG. After the pandemic, the world believes that practicing sustainability is important, and it has become a trend not only for suppliers but also for SMEs. So I believe that different companies need to know where they are located at within the supply chain and to move towards sustainability gradually. I believe the most important thing is to have a governance mechanism. As for the second part, for supply chains, Acer divided it in two ways. First, for suppliers, we told them specifically what they need to do. In addition, there are other parts they can do voluntarily. For instance, we have a ESG scorecard. The scorecard includes environment, social, and governance. For instance, do supply chains have a sustainability report and other environmental protection efforts? And for environment, the most important part is to do carbon reduction, to conduct carbon inventory, to calculate carbon footprint, and others. We have quantitative measures in this scorecard. And for social, we focus on human rights. The scorecard was started in 2013. So each year, our supply chain partners will get their score. Also, they will know what their peer companies' score are at. So the scorecard is the mandatory part that we ask our suppliers to do. And for voluntary part, This has to do with their Authion. Through product design, logistics, manufacturing, and others, suppliers can work with us. So it is important to let these suppliers know what benefits they can get by working with us. Acer is a global company. By working with us, suppliers can gain international recognition and become a model for others. Last year, we worked with our suppliers in developing biofuels and carbon reduction. So the first question, company needs to focus on governance. And for our suppliers, there needs to be two parts, voluntary and mandatory. Next, for Superintendent Tsai, hospital focuses on saving people's lives. And it is important to balance between saving people's lives and managing cost. Thank you for your question.
I will answer in three parts. I agree with Grace Liu. To do ESGs, the most important thing is to work together with your colleagues and from bottom down, from top to bottom. If you know that you have to achieve ESGs, it's important that you need to do it right now, no matter you hear anyone talks about it. When you talk about it, it's time for you to do ESGs. It's too late for someone to told you to do it. Second, the communication between colleagues is important. We had a communication officer in the beginning, and we have everyone's agreement. And it's lucky that we had our agreement very quickly. And because we can ask our colleagues according to Ministry of Health and Welfare, if Taiwan wants to achieve net zero, hospitals are important roles. After the agreement from everyone, second, you need to have a very fast process. As a member of the Taipei's Union Hospitals, in 2015, our hospital started ESGs. We started many methods to reduce carbon and conserve power. For example, we spent 40 million NT dollars throughout 3 years to change all our AC because the most conserve the power consumption things is AC. AC can save 30% of our power. And the electricity fees was reduced by 600,000 NT dollars, which is huge. So we can see it at our headquarters hospitals and other member hospitals. So every member hospital right now is joining the ESG project. And third, as hospital, it's not only about reduce carbon, it's about social impact. Our social impacts and our social services are important. And now we know that we have done the right thing. It's not only about to provide services to the elderly, to the vulnerables. We also provide other services to rural areas. So when your colleagues knows that you are doing the right thing. It's a positive cycle. We are not like manufacturers who will face out the critics from the society. I want to invite different social institutions and other hospitals to join us to achieve ESGs. Thank you for Superintendent Tsai. It's really important to have a good process and good projects to self-fulfilling your colleagues and to work together moving towards ESGs. So thank you for sharing your experiences. Now let's welcome any questions from our audience. Please raise your hand and ask your question.
好，没有。Please feel free to ask your questions. Today, we have many leaders from different industries, and this is an important topic. I have a question. Tsai. Oh, it is from Dr. Tsai. And I would like to ask Mrs. Dr. Grace Liu. Acer is a global company. And are there any differences between international standards and Taiwan standards in ESG? What are some differences? And could you please share your view? Also, I would like to ask Director Liu from Giant Group. Giant is a role model for the cycling industry. And how do other industries catch up with your group since your group is leading others? So first, let's welcome Dr. Grace Liu. Thank you, Dr. Tsai, for your question. Acer aims to follow international standards. For Taiwan, the requirement for company disclosure is actually pretty advanced. The Financial Supervisory Committee has stringent regulations regarding company disclosure. However, overall, the European Union has a more comprehensive carbon reduction requirements. The European Union has a new Green Deal requirement. It sets regulations regarding carbon tax between borders. Also, there are other fees regarding maintenance, digital passport, transport, and others. They already set a timeline regarding this. In addition, they have timeline regarding EV and other environmental friendly products. So I believe EU is leading the world. And if your company wants to do business in the EU, it is important to follow these regulations. So more efforts need to be put into when following EU's regulations and standards. In addition to carbon fee, carbon tax, The EU also addresses issues of human rights. We not only need to abide by local regulations, but we also have to follow requirements within certain industries. And the EU focuses on due diligence. In practicing sustainability, these are things that we must do when doing businesses in EU.
I agree with Prof. Liu. The EU has a series of projects and policies started from Green Deal, and the fine is very high. So in the future, anyone can do business in the EU. They have to require themselves with higher standards. And also in the future, John wants to add values to Taiwan's industry. I also want to thank Superintendent Tsai for his questions. How to catch up bosses' standards or bosses' goals? Because bosses are all inspiring. It's good because colleagues and workers can try every time to achieve the high standards. And through the process, you can find like-minded persons. As for achieving ESG, we have reduce, reuse, recycle. We also have 3 other words: redefine, redesign, and rethink. To think again about ESGs, we can see at our core value and to come up with something new. Sustainability actually is the root of our group. In the beginning, the founder shared his views, and he also reminded us we want to believe in ourselves. We don't want to find a new sceneries. We want to find a new ways to look at the world. We can find a new ways to reducing our carbon emissions. And new suppliers joined us because we have a new method. For example, tires. Tires can emit a lot of carbons because it's a plastic product. But about the nylon inside a tire that emitted a lot of carbons. So we also recycled fishnets and to reduce carbon emissions. And the fishnets can be linked back to the local fishers. So the companies can recycle the old fishnets and then give them new one. And it's also a way to save the ocean lives. And it's very interesting. While doing ESGs, we can learn a lot of things from our partners with new methods, new views. Therefore, we can live up to the expectations from the bosses. Thank you, Charlie Liu. The fishnet example is important. It's all about our survey science. Survey science focus on different disciplines. We want to link together different industries or different fields in order to create a bigger environment and everyone can be thriving together. Thank you for your sharing. Now let's welcome Any other questions? Now we have a questions how a company to find a balance between innovation and to achieve sustainability. Innovation focuses on changing. Sustainability otherwise focuses on principles. How can we find the balance between the two? Because the two can be trade-off with each other all the time. That's the question. So does any of our speakers want to share their experiences?
Oh. So I would like to share my experience. I am Dr. Tsai. I believe innovation and sustainability are both important. In my experience, innovation requires new equipment, new investments sometimes. However, if innovation is look at ways in terms of service, it is about transforming the existing services. So there doesn't need to be new resources. And this can connect to sustainability. For instance, we have annual budgets for construction, repair, maintenance in our hospital. When we think about sustainability, when constructing our medical buildings, we can add some carbon reduction services. As for community services, we not only provide medical services, we can make use of telemedicine, and this reduces costs of medical supplies. So in some way, this addresses sustainability by changing how we provide our services. Thank you. What about Dr. Grace Liu or Director Charlie? So this is Dr. Grace Liu speaking. In Acer, we believe that sustainability is one part of sustainable operations, and there needs to be innovation. For innovation, we address the 17 SDGs promoted by the UN. It is important to have both innovation and sustainability to be compatible with each other. For Acer, we have certain standards and regulations. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, countries are imposing more stringent standards around the world. So when designing or making products, we need to think about our carbon footprint and what materials to be used. This is a gradual process. I believe that in the future, countries will have more specific regulations on disclosing carbon footprint. In the past, there is no specific regulations regarding product spec. However, this has changed nowadays, and I believe it is the same for disclosing carbon footprint. I believe innovation is a must-do for companies, and the innovation needs to follow certain regulations as well. The core concept is to be environmental friendly. Thank you.
Thank you for Grad Flu. The important thing is to be sustainable, and the innovation should be sustainability based. Let's welcome Director Liu. I want to divide innovation into technology, production, manufacturing. During the sustainability process, sometimes something can be both sustainable and innovative, then that's our priority things to do. And about service innovation in circular economy, the product or service is a very inspiring. After the cycling around Taiwan, Giant has a travel agent. Many people want to cycle around Taiwan or just cycle a part of Taiwan. So the travel agent can provide the traveling services. And we also, and for the last thing, that we can do things with the lowest carbon emission. As for services, for example, in our cycling culture museum, we want to, through the museum, to provide innovative services. I also want to mention another idea. It's about business models innovation. There are a lot of things to are profitable. It's not about to think service differently. It's not only about low carbon. It's also about zero carbon emission. Cycling is the lowest carbon emission ways of travel. So for Giant, we can provide not only about the cycling services, but also other information. We want to make cycling to be part of the carbon with carbon credits to motivate every cyclist to cycle more. And further, we can change all the traffic model. And that's the different ways to do innovation and also to be sustainable. Thank you. Thank you, Director Liu. Innovation is realizable. Like for many years ago, when cell phones were designed, a few people can accept it that, but now everyone has a cell phone. It's just the new future. We also have 3 minutes left. Is there any more questions? Please just raise your hand.
Seems like there's no more questions. Since it's about time, I think we would end here right now. On behalf of our association, I would like to thank our 3 speakers for taking time off their busy schedule to join today's conference. And thank you all for sharing what your company is doing regarding ESG and sustainability.